be like that. Kent, go ahead.
Coach, that run to end the first half clearly changed the complexion of this game. I'd like your view on that run and what you thought about that call that sent Nafisa to the bench.
Yeah, well, the first part of it, and what we fully anticipated from Seattle in this game was that they would turn up their pressure, and they did. And that really, I thought, bothered us, even though, we talked about that was likely their path, and, that we knew that things would be more difficult, that sort of thing. And we didn't accomplish a whole lot. Our shot selection wasn't great in that stretch. They made some hard shots. Players raising up over the top of us, shooting threes that you go, sometimes it's a shot you actually want them to take. They've got some real shot makers. So that led to that run. That third foul was tough. I guess it's one of those things. She's in the RA, a little bit of body, and it's like an automatic foul because her feet on the ground. If she jumps, maybe it's not a foul. It's just a tough call. I mean, it's really disappointing. Obviously, it hurt us. Best player on the bench for a long time. I think it was about 7 minutes. So I just put her back in. So didn't work out for us there.
We'll go Katie and then Jace. Katie, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I'm curious how it was decided that Nafisa would be the one giving the opening statement before tonight's game, and what was it like watching her speak for your team in Seattle in that moment?
I can only answer the second part because they don't consult with coaches on those sort of things. So I imagine in conjunction with the Players Association, but certainly you could ask Fee on that. I was really proud. Obviously, Nafisa's emerged as a face of this league, and that was on display tonight.
Jace, go ahead.
Cheryl, you cut a 21-point deficit to 5 in like 4 minutes in that third quarter. What did you like about that stretch? And do runs like that really kind of consume a lot of energy?
They do. It also gives you a lot of energy. So if you were starting to feel tired and you're on a run like that, you get that adrenaline going. I think in that run we had 2 free throws to cut it to 3, and we went through a couple back-to-back possessions where we got to the foul line. We were 1 for 4. You just can't do it. I mean, offensively, you've got to be really good when you play Seattle, because not only is their defense really good, but their offense is really good. They got a ton of shot makers, and you got to go toe to toe with them offensively. And we didn't get that done. The first half, our backcourt, of Odyssey, Crystal, and Rachel, I believe, were 2 of 15 as we went into halftime. That's tough. It's tough to hang with these guys because they didn't have anybody that had 3 players that were shooting like that. So. But like we've done all season, again, we had a chance to cut it to 1 possession in the third quarter. Didn't get it done. We made some mistakes defensively. We didn't rotate all the way through some of the things we were trying to get done. And like I said, they make you have to make every shot and shoot, 50% along with them. We did shoot 50% in the second half, with just 29% in the first half. That was difficult. So we got one more crack at this. It's not a 200-minute series unless you are winning a couple of those 40 minutes. So we've got a 40-minute game, and the mindset is, we got to win a game, and Sunday will be that day.
We'll go Neil and then Chris Hine. Neil, go ahead.
Cheryl, you just mentioned the defensive rotations and, Seattle hitting some tough shots over you, but can you expound on that a little bit more? What did you see from your defense tonight? It seemed like Seattle had a couple more open looks and maybe open layups than they did in game 1.
Yeah. And I, as we anticipated, based on what we did in game 1, that they would scheme for it, right? We schemed for stuff that they did, and they schemed for stuff that we were doing defensively. But I thought we corrected early one of the things that they were targeting. I thought we corrected that. And then I thought that what was happening from there was just, we said when you play, there was more reminiscent of the regular season when we guarded them as opposed to the last game, in that, not the first pass, not the second pass, but the third, fourth, fifth passes for them. You've got to play all the way through the position. You got to rotate and you got to help them. We just didn't have the awareness or the timeliness that we had in game 1. We've got to get back to that. I think we've got, the right ideas of what we want to get done. We'll look at it. We'll see if there was something happening that we need to help them with. But, these guys, they make you pay. One wrong step and they make you pay. They've got the best combination of offense and defense in the league. And their defense put themselves in position. We only had 10 turnovers, but I thought their defense led to us taking maybe at times ill-advised shots, rush shots, late shot clock opportunities. So, but they did get 18 points off of those 10 turnovers. So just offensively, it was just a little bit harder, but, I give Seattle credit.
We'll go Chris and then Howard and McDowell. Chris, go ahead.
Coach, did you think about putting Nafisa back in at all during that second quarter run Seattle was making?
Sure did. I sure did.
Was it just too risky?
Is it risky? Sometimes when you go, just in experience in doing this, sometimes when a person's, like her third foul is what scared me. Kind of going, like the way it happened. I don't want her to send it back out there and then she gets in the wrong place and, you get the 4. Because we have been a team that, it's only 13 at halftime. That, I'd say only 13. It's for our team. That's kind of been the space that we've lived in. So we felt like we would have a run, and then we wanted Fee to be able to be there and part of it. And so that was the risk we weren't willing to take in that second quarter.
I will go Howard and then Michelle. Howard, go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl, 2 things on that. One, just to the stat you pointed out about the points off of turnovers. You limit turnovers. That's obviously part of the battle. Is there a thing you can do in order to limit points off of turnovers? Are there ways in which you can limit that? And then just as far as Jewel Lloyd goes, where her shots have just been consistently falling in a way that's beyond even what she typically does, anything you're seeing about a difference in her, something that sort of changed her level of play?
I'm not sure the answer to that with Jewel. I just wish it hadn't happened, whatever it was, because it makes it a lot harder to play against. I mean, she's been a great player. It's not that she hasn't, but the consistency that she's played with this year and her percentages and, her efficiency is really high. Again, not to say that you don't think a player can make some of these shots. It's just, you're choosing which type of shot, and she's making, some of the ones that we're choosing. I forget what else you asked. Type of turnovers.
Turnovers, yeah.
We talk about this with them. The best kind of turnover, if you are going to turn it over, is pick it up, throw it out of bounds, so that you can get your defense set. We've talked about that. I'd rather you shoot a shot or throw it out of bounds, because with these guys, live ball turnovers result in. And so if you look at the location of them, more pick sixes, where you just can't get back. Or just, location of them, and you can't build your defense. And I had to go back and look at all 10 to see which type they were, but I suspect that they were ones that we just couldn't recover from.
Last question to Michelle. Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach Reeve, are there times when you see Seattle with so many weapons that reminds you a little bit of, of your teams when you had so many weapons that it was just so hard to play because of that? Is that because especially looking at tonight, Stewie misses 7 threes and they still win just because of the number of weapons they have? Does that remind you a little bit of the Lynx?
It does, and I've said that. I've been on that side. To have so many great players. But I'm going to do quick math here. But I think our starters outplayed their starters. And so their bench helped them much more today than they did last game. And I knew that was going to be something that, we were anticipating, trying to get a little bit more from our bench. But we don't, points wise, it's hard for us to manufacture points from our bench. Maybe Kiki could hit a couple shots, or, Rachel makes more shots, but our starters outplayed their starters. And that's a darn good starting 5 over there. So I'm happy with our starting 5.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Cheryl.